Hello world, Simon Miller here with an update about my latest wrestling match. Almost smashed my microphone there because I'm not a smart person. Anyway, my latest wrestling match, which went live on Defiant Wrestling's YouTube channel 24 hours ago, more like 15, 14 hours ago. You can check it out right now in two ways. Head over to Defiant Wrestling's YouTube channel, just search for Defiant Wrestling on YouTube, or a magic card will come up somewhere on the screen and you can click it, and I'll make sure it's all time-stamped so it takes you to the appropriate place. But I thought I'd talk about it for two reasons. One is topical, and two, that's where this all began. All this pro wrestling journey stuff. Started with me just sat here in a little room talking about going along to wrestling training, and here we are a few years on, and I'm having matches for championships. Won't tell you how it ended. I will allow you to enjoy that for yourself, and thank you very much everyone who has sent me constructive feedback, just nice words. Some people saying that I'm crap. It's all good. It's all good. I put myself out there on the internet. I have a review show called Ups and Downs. Completely get it. Like War of a Duck's back. I know what I've got to do. I know what I can do better. I know what... well, you've always got to be humble, right? You've always got to, in my opinion anyway, you've always got to be looking to what's next, and you want to watch what you do and learn from it and progress and evolve, and hopefully that's what I'm going to be able to do. But yeah, like it's a really weird thing because... I want to try and find the balance between how much we talk about and how much you watch. But there were certain things in that match, like I say, that I knew when all was said and done, you can learn from that, Simon, you can do better. And I think the really interesting thing at the moment for me is that I'm so desperate to do a good job. And that's just not necessarily in wrestling, that's just me in general. Like, I think a lot of us can say we're our own worst critics. And I'm absolutely my own worst critic because the bar for me is always there. And sometimes I set unrealistic bars, and that kind of works. It kind of works because if you hit it, you think, sweet, maybe I've overstretched or over hit my expectations. But obviously, if you're setting a high bar for yourself, you're not always going to hit it. I think you have to accept that. So you always want to go into that kind of situation with a little bit of trepidation. But yeah, afterwards, I was like, okay, I know what I did right, but more importantly, I know what I did wrong. And I think you can still see when you watch the match, and hopefully you will have watched it. You can see a little bit of the gears ticking in my head, trying to work out where I am, trying to work out what I need to do. Certainly need to be more exaggerated with my movements, a little bit more over the top. But it's strange, like when you're in a wrestling ring, you don't really think about... You think you're doing these big moves, and you watch it back, and you're like, man, they weren't big at all. And that goes for sort of the pace of a match as well. Everybody always says, like AJ Styles said it too, and if AJ Styles says it, it's true. If you think you're working too slow, go slower. And it's so true. It's incredible how quick the human brain works compared to the body, and how you try and stay, one step ahead of anything. Or really what you need to do is just slow down, allow people to take in what you're doing. It's just amazing. Pro wrestling is the most incredible thing. But the real thing that I wanted to talk about, and again, lovingly, I always get people saying, oh, Miller, can you give me any advice about getting into wrestling training? And my kind of... aside from my one big bit of advice always being, well, just go do it, man. Or man, women, man, you know what I mean? Just go, go and do it. Because you never know until you try. And then my second part is always, look, you should probably go talk to someone else. I'm still a rookie. Massively so. But yeah, the one takeaway every time I have a match is that I do get really nervous watching it back, as I think most people would. Again, because of everything we've just talked about. But when all is said and done, and I've studied it, and this goes for straight after the match, and when I've watched it as observer a few weeks later, or whenever it happens to go live, there's always this overwhelming feeling that I want to get back in the ring as soon as possible and try and improve. And I think that is the coolest thing about all this wrestling stuff, and ties into when people ask me again, Miller, what should I do about starting wrestling training? That's the feeling. It's not about, you have to be in ring shape and you have to have a certain talent and skill level, I would assume, to be successful at it. But in terms of actually going into a wrestling ring and enjoying yourself, that's the key. That's the key, is that, as I was watching it, I don't know if this is going to happen or not, but I had this vision in my head of maybe sort of a year, 2 years down the line, and being in the same position I'm in now, watching a match and going, look at that. That is it's a wrestling match people can watch and go, wow, Miller got better. And hopefully you'll see those sort of minor steps as we go. But yeah, it's weird how that kind of takes over. And now I can't imagine not having a wrestling match sort of booked in my life. hopefully I'm going to have a load of bookings throughout the summer, which, I can improve away from under the radar kind of a thing and then come back as strong as I possibly can. But that's the biggest takeaway. That's the... I've called this video The Truth Behind, because you know how YouTube works. I know, clickbait, but it works, so whatever. But that's the truth behind it. The truth behind it is even when, and again, now we're a bit into the video, and I know people always click out. I'll let you in on a bit of a secret. There was one move in that match that I botched, and it got taken out because, Defiant Wrestling are very nice people. There was no one that was hurt or anything like that. I just screwed up. And at first I was really down about that. And I was down about it for a good day or so. Not like, depressed or anything like that. I'm not trying to take away. I don't like saying things like that because people that truly are depressed, again, I'm not trying to tap into that. We've talked about, that on this channel before. But I was disappointed in myself as a better thing. But once you get over that, I love the fact that my first reaction and the first thing that comes back is, okay, we just got to do better. And next time, you got to remember the sequence a bit more, and you got to be more aggressive, and you got to do this, and you got to do that. It's the greatest feeling in the world. It's the greatest feeling in the world to come back with that kind of fire after you've been knocked down a little bit. And I know it's going to happen again. Mistakes happen. Experience is a wonderful thing. And everyone that I've worked with so far couldn't have been any better. And I'll leave it at that because I want to try and keep some of the magic alive. But it's true. And yeah, it's a really, really odd feeling. Like when you watch yourself back and you're half really proud of yourself, but half really critical of yourself because you want to do better. It's as simple as that. You want to do better. And I've watched it a few times now. And again, everyone said such nice things to me on social. Again, some assholes too, but that's fine. But I want to focus on the positives. And so many people have said really, really nice things. And you have no idea how much motivation and inspiration that gives me. It really does. It keeps it ticking over. It keeps me focused and it keeps me wanting more. So I appreciate that. And yeah, we're going to keep going. I'll keep going to wrestling training as I'm always doing behind the scenes. I guess I've got to challenge Nathan Cruz at some point. Again, you'll understand when you see the match. Make sure you keep watching afterwards. It's all coming together, hopefully. Fingers crossed. And I'm never going to stop learning. Next time you watch me, I'm not going to be a Carter or Seth Rollins. Or if I am, what the hell has happened? Man, more respect to me. But hopefully I can... The whole point of this, from day one, was to be as open and as transparent as possible so people could see it happening in real time. And hopefully that's what you're getting now. And hopefully every time you do tune in, you can see that and go, oh, I feel like we're all kind of doing this together. Because as cheesy as it sounds, that was the point. I wanted to, given where the background I came from, doing things through YouTube, which is a very engaging platform, I was like, okay, well, let's try and engage the audience through pro wrestling. And they can be my sort of mini support group. So yeah, again, Martin Kirby versus me, Simon Miller for the Internet Championship on the latest episode of Defiant loaded up there now. Defiant Wrestling. Again, you saw the card. I'll probably smash a link in the description below, but I forget to do that all the time. But yeah, if you can go watch that, that would be great. Again, if you want to buy a t-shirt too, it's a wrestling vlog, simonmiller.bigcartel.com. All my wrestling merch is up there, and I got some new 8x10s. Which I'm going to smash up there this week. You can keep an eye on my Twitter at SimonMiller316 for an announcement by that. And again, patreon.com/Simon316. That's all my stuff. Instagram too, at Simon316. And while you are here, why not give the YouTube channel a subscribe? I see you throughout the week, because we smash videos all the time.